What are your thoughts on this as someone who is considered as a millennial?
Because I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't give that advice. Like I would never tell a woman to adapt to a man and how he's willing to treat her. Like I'll never do that because
Percentage-wise, how much women go with men who could provide for them financially?
you are going to provide for her and she's going to make everything easier for you in your life. It was months upon months, and it was terrible. It was
We see dating in this modern time is something really, I would say, intriguing, because back then, it was more real relationships where someone would get together with another for many years. But now you would see persons get together with each other for months. If it's 1 year, 2 years, that's plenty. What are your thoughts on this as someone who is considered as a millennial?
it's very controversial because not a lot of people dating for love. Is more or less they're dating for what the other person could do for them,
Yeah.
what the other person could give them that somebody else can't. So I just think that we're just trying to fill little gaps of ourselves that we need to work on. But I think it's very it's not the easiest thing to date in my generation.
So you think that dating now is for financial gain? So those who are wealthy, they are the ones who would be given the opportunity to date maybe some of the finest women out there. Harsh reality, but it's true. So as I say, the saying, money talks, bullshit walks.
I don't want to 100% agree with you, but I do agree that
Percentage,
Men-
I see.
yes, a certain caliber of men could date a certain caliber of ladies because of what he brings to the table. I mean, there are the rare few that would date somebody for who they are, and once they get to personally, just get to know the person better. But other than that, 90% of our generation date for what they could probably gain from the other person. I mean, don't get me wrong, relationship is a give and take. Like, it is obviously a give and take, but they're just making it ugly now.
I wouldn't consider a woman like to be bad if it is that she did someone who could provide for her, because really and truly a man's supposed to provide. Some men,
No.
some men may not be able to provide as other men, so it's understandable. Then it have some men who might be so genuine compared to the ones that could provide and treating the woman that they with bad. So something like that now. How do a woman accept a person who might provide for her financially, but in reality treats her terrible? And when I say terrible, not respecting her in public, maybe have another chick and so forth. How do a woman really adapt to that? Maybe you could talk not from experience, but maybe from a friend that you know went through something like that, and she shares some insights that was supposed to be personal. You're not sharing a name, but you're just sharing what she shared with you.
Me personally, I don't think any woman should adopt to that foolishness. I don't think any woman should settle for anything less than what she believes that she deserves. Because I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't give that advice. Like I would never tell a woman to adapt to a man and how he's willing to treat her. Like I'll never do that because as I would not do that, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling a woman, well, you're doing this for you, just learn to live with it. Like I would never do that. I believe go where you're most comfortable, go where you're most loved, go where you're most respected, because at the end of the day, this person could be a potential life partner, and you want somebody who's going to respect you privately and publicly. You wouldn't want somebody who is all over the place and who is humiliating you all over and doing your things that's not respectful to a lady. So I wouldn't, if you don't adapt, you can simply, I mean, there are men that they could cheat, but not all. So I will never tell a woman adapt to a man. If there's anything, a man can learn to adapt to a woman.
So I like percentage. I like to find out, for example, percentage-wise, how much women go with men who could provide for them financially. And your own percentage too.
I think like 70%.
And men now who knowing that women coming to them for financial gain, do you think that men would really treat them 100% respect because they know into themselves it wasn't for their money that they wouldn't be able to obtain this woman. And in a percentage now, how much men do you think really would respect women and give them that financial gain and also that respect that is deserved?
That's kind of tricky because at the end of the day, as the old people they say, a man is naturally supposed to provide for a woman. Any woman you're with, you're naturally going to have to provide for she because that's the role you're taking on because it how to put it. You are going to provide for her and she's going to make everything easier for you in your life. Cause you're gonna be money, you paid all the bills, you're doing everything. You come home to a clean home. She cooking, she washing her clothes, she taking care of the home, she taking care of kids if you all have kids. And some women work and they're still doing all of that. So it's not right to say like we comment to them for financial gain only. They are gaining so much more from us than just us being there. Like it have more to us than just the money aspect. Because you're paying for it's not like you're paying for the comfort, but at the same time, that is naturally what a man is supposed to do. He's supposed to provide and protect, and we are supposed to be the homemakers and the bakers and all of these little extra things. But yes, I don't think it's just like a one-way street because women lose a lot because a woman could be with a man for 50 years and not work a day in her life. And he provide and he can pick up himself and go and start over and she will have to start from scratch all over again. And yeah, I don't believe in that nonsense.
Okay. Percentage wise though, remember I asked the question that what percentage of men would provide financially and also would respect a woman? What percentage you think?
Honestly, I don't have that much faith, sister. I don't have that much faith in men like that, but I believe like probably let's say like a 60%.
Okay,
A
all right.
60%.
You see now, good answer. Some men now think that because they may have their finances, that a woman's supposed to submit to them totally. And I think that is where some women now, they get caught up with the amount of resources that a man have that they're doing their hair on time, they're doing their nails, food being placed, they maybe have a vehicle to drive. They don't really have to go there, hustle and bustle in terms of going to work, reaching to work 8 o'clock if they're living, let's say Arima, and then they have to go to Port of Spain and then to leave work 4 o'clock to come up in the east. So some women think that at the end of the day, I'm not getting a man to do these things for me, so I am just going to stick with it. Like, I actually see women in those situations, not to say I know of any, but, from the outside, you see, you hear, and things like that. And I think with that now, it comes where some women do really believe that it's better out there because if it is you're already in it, it's like better I stay and stick with it.
I understand what you're trying to say. Basically, once a woman gets comfortable with a man doing everything for her, she tends to lose her ambition. And I have seen it firsthand with a lot of people around me. From the time a man starts doing everything for her, she basically starts taking care of her. She tends to lose that ambition slowly but surely. And by the time she realizes that she don't have that again, sometimes it's hard to pull herself out of that situation because, being provided to and catered to is all nice and fun until the real life shits that happen. Until the real things that go wrong and then you feel like you can't move because if he say you can't do this, you can't do it because you don't have it on the outside place. So if a man could give you a jump start is depending on your ambition. If you could take that jump start and do something with it, or you just let him can take for you, can do everything for you, and then he just gets caught up in that same cycle. And then end up losing it all because you feel like you have it several.
And then Jim Rohn said this, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with. So if your friends in a scenario like yourself, they would tell you, hey, continue. And no one don't start up a relationship, man that is, that would start to be abusive. At first, they give you, they love you, treat you. I hear about it. And then after the abuse comes in. And then in that abuse, it's like you're so comfortable that you taking it and you're not telling anyone. And I think a lot of women now, they're not speaking out because of fear, because feeling that if it is that they have, let's say, one or two kids with this person, where would they go? You know, and they're more thinking about the kids, and they never enter into a relationship expecting that eventually that the man will become abusive. But sometimes with men, what I think is that they invest so much that they watching, okay, they spent maybe over 2 years, 200,000, 500,000. It's like, you're not doing anyway because that money is dead money and I spend so much, I basically owe you. And that's the mentality of some men, not all, you know, but it's very disheartening to know. But I think that the state that we're living in right now with things that are getting so costly that women should really have something on the side that they could really fall back on. Don't just depend on someone.
Yeah, don't put it all into one.
Yeah, like put it into one.
Just say don't put all the eggs in one
Yeah.
basket.
And I think that's the problem. And I think personally, not trying to put it like it's a particular area, but I think more countryside, you would see a lot of that because countryside still live in that traditional mindset that the man's supposed to provide and the woman's supposed to stay at home and be submissive to the man and also the entire family, kids that is. And more in like town areas, you would see both parents working and so forth.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Me personally, I grew up with for one point, I grew up with my both parents, and then I grew up in a single household with just my mom. And to be honest, people don't understand the struggle until they're in the situation. So I would speak from experience, knowing where I came from and where I grew up. It is not always easy to leave a man. It is not always, because sometimes people expect that the love factor is always there. That's not something that says pick up yourself and go. But I mean, anything abusive is those to try it with me. I will never stand up there and allow myself to be a victim to that, because I don't make no sense. Like, you don't get nowhere, you don't reach nowhere with that.
You know what I'm saying? You see, both parties love challenges. It's like this, right? If it is a woman coming on to a man, he wouldn't be so submissive. He wants some sort of challenge. And sometimes challenges is not so good because with those challenges, it may reach a point that it starts to get toxic. And coming from both sides, on a man's side and also from a woman's side. And I believe that most people know, especially the millennials per se, that everybody wants some sort of challenge. I even heard women say that, you know, I love something that is toxic. And I was like, is somebody treating you 100 being genuine to you? You don't like that. But when you're having some sort of toxicity in the relationship, that is like where you feel, hey, this is love. And I think that most people, it's infatuation. And that's a topic that we could delve into by itself because it's true.
I mean, it depends on the household that you grew up in as well. Like, it all stems from home, seeing the love between your parents.
So true, yeah.
But you're right. This generation is very much filled with a lot of toxic ass relationships, and y'all know yourself, you'll be doing it. I myself have been a victim of that foolishness. But I mean, you need to love yourself. You need to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. And I was one of them who had to learn the hard way in order to know that. But I believe once you love yourself, you are very much capable of surpassing the whole toxic relationship part. Like, you wouldn't fall victim to that, because once you love yourself, you know that you're capable of doing certain things on your own. You have ambition, you have things going for yourself, you're well educated, all these little aspects. And I believe, like, once you have that within yourself, you can leave a relationship and still get better. You could always find better.
I personally think that it don't have any consultants when it comes to handling relationships. Most people, they lean onto their friends, or even some people don't want to tell anyone what they I experience him. It's like this. If you are getting everything and everybody's saying, hey, this man is doing all this for you, you looking nice, you driving, a nice car, you go in parties, you wearing jewelry and so forth. It's like you don't want to tell your friends that toxic side of the relationship because everybody's praising you. And it's like you are living for the gram, IG that is, because we know Instagram is something where it's more of a lifestyle and more of a travel experience platform than anything. You want to showcase your lifestyle, you want to showcase the countries that you go to. And if all of a sudden, as we say, you fall off the map, it's like she going through or he going through, as we would say in dialect. But it's where now I believe that we living for a lifestyle, we're not living to really be enjoying life, to be at peace. And I think that peace is priceless. You can't pay for peace.
Oh no,
You could-
definitely. You could never put a price on your peace on your mental health or nothing like that.
Definitely.
You could never do that.
And I would like to ask a personal question. Did you ever experience an abusive relationship before?
I could safely say I have never experienced
Thank God for that.
abusive relationship.
Because you are too small to get any such a thing.
Not about my size, and I know it's just I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I am not going to allow another man to put his hands on me because God forbid he ever does. So the ones who know me will know. But at the same time, I'm very grateful that I've never experienced that. I don't ever intend to because I believe that if it's had to feel like it is becoming too much for me, I will personally take a step back. I will walk away because if I feel like it had to reach to where we're gonna get physical with one another, I know that's not love and I will never accept that. Is there no kind of forgiveness for that? I can never forgive a man for putting his hands on me. That no amount of love could make me feel like I could forgive him and move on with life. Like I'll never do that.
Okay. I love that. And in the past, it was ever easy to walk away from a relationship or maybe share an experience that was difficult and maybe you had to consult a family member, your friend as to how to really go about walking away and feeling at peace because sometimes we want to walk away but it's like we cannot.
Yes, I have. It was very hard. My last very serious relationship. I needed to leave because it just became a space where it was not nice, it was not calm. It was constantly arguing, the back and forth, and I just couldn't do that. And I wouldn't say I consulted with anybody, family wise or friend wise. I just personally woke up one morning and decided this is not what I want to do with. And I had a fresh start. I moved out of home that same Saturday. We broke up that same Saturday. And I just took time for myself. And here we are now.
And
Way better.
how long it was that you went through that back and forth with arguing and so forth?
Months. It was months upon months. And it was terrible. It was draining. It was extremely draining. It took a toll on my mental health, my physical health. It was terrible. But I am forever grateful for being able, the strong-minded person that I am, to be able to pick up myself and walk away. Even though it was very hard because I was very much in love with him. It was super, super, super hard. But I left, I picked up myself, dusted myself off, and I started all over again. And it's just, I became a way better person mentally and physically after leaving the relationship. I got to expand myself more. I started learning more things about myself. But yeah, I mean, he helped me with a lot of character building as well,
Okay,
which was very good. And I learned a lot about myself while being with him, but I also learned way more about myself without him as well. I used to feel like that man was my world, but So, but yeah,
interesting. Yeah. And relationships is something that I would say really thought provoking. In your own words, what do you consider love? Because everybody have their own definition of love. Like you mentioned, you were in love with that person because it was very difficult to leave that person. So I would consider that love. But what was your definition of love in that relationship that you told yourself, hey, it's so difficult to leave. I cannot because of this, because of that, and so forth.
I think it was, for me, it's always been the little aspects of things that regular people would not have noticed about myself. I think is he would notice the little things that even I would not notice. The little gesture, you know, he put a lot of thoughts into the things I do. I'm very sentimental. So he used to do a lot of sentimental things to me. I mean, he just taught me a type of love that I never experienced before. And when I experienced that for the first time, I didn't even know, somebody, it's not about reaction. I didn't even know someone was capable of loving another human like that.
Okay.
So when I experienced that for the first time, it was new, it was fresh, and I was like really young too. And when you're young, you're very impressionable at the same time. So yeah, to me, it was always lots of things that he would do. Considering my time, making time for me, because, you're busy and you have other things going on, things like that. So it was always in little things to me.
And that is great to hear because, some people, they don't look at that as love. They look at when you could buy this for me, when it is that you could take me on a trip, that is love. And that is not love. So that's the reason why I asked your definition of love. Because everybody's definition of love is something different. Like if it is a man could say, hey, I given you 5,000, I given you the opportunity that you could go, let's say, Hawaii or go Dubai. That's love. And that is not love. That is just where it is. And how that could be love when it is somebody have the finances. Imagine somebody have the necessary finances to do that 10 times. For them, it's not love, but for somebody who maybe don't have and really give you the opportunity to go here and to go there and buy this, then after you could maybe say that is love. So the wealthy person who provided a lot for you, that could never be love because it's nothing for them. But for the person who is building and provide for you, that is where they really taking their hard-earned money and saying, hey, I appreciate you. Look here, look at you, look this, look that. I would say that is something where someone really appreciates you, and that, in essence, is a form of love.
I mean, it is. It really is. But to add to that, I just believe that because, okay, for somebody who would not have experienced a lot growing up, for somebody to come and meet you and willingly give you certain things without you having to ask, that to me is something that's very rare because, I mean, a man could come and give you the word, he could do this, he could carry your hair, he could do this, but it's about the thought process behind it.
Right.
It's about, okay, you could sit down and have a regular conversation with a fella, and you could mention certain things, and he would surprise you with it. You never asked. It's about the thought. Others always say it's always about the thought process behind it. It's always been that for me. Like I said, it's always been the little thing.
Yeah, the little things definitely count. I would say that for sure. And anything that you would like to tell, young ladies out there who looking for that, as we may say, true relationship, looking to lean on someone who may be considered as a father figure. Because you see, it have some women, they haven't grown up with their father, so they lean on a man and expecting that man to be the provider, the father, all in one. And I think that is something could be challenging. Any advice you'll give on that?
I grew up without my dad. I mean, I had a stepdad that gave me all the love in the world, and he did he did so much more than my biological dad didn't do for me. And I will always be forever grateful for him because he showed me certain things that my dad should have been doing. But I didn't grow up with my dad, and I could safely say that it is very hard for a young lady growing up, especially in this generation without her parents, like especially without a father figure.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what that kind of love is, a lot of men will take advantage of you. And I feel like a lot of the times that's exactly what has been happening. But what I will say though is that if you don't have that father figure, trust and believe you're going to make it one way or the other. And a man is going to come into your life and love you so hard that you're never gonna believe it real, because it have those very few rare guys that would come and make you feel like you're on top of the world and give it a princess treatment and all of that. But always make sure to leave room for disappointment, because
And that's the hard part there.
Mm.
To leave room for disappointment, because sometimes now you're so caught up in it that in your mind at first you're leaving room for disappointment, but when it hits you, it's like something like a heart attack that you don't know how to really react, and it's like you asking this one, that one, for advice, and you're just all over the place. Continue.
I will always tell my female friends that always go to gut instinct. That does never lie. That does never, ever, ever lie. Like, always go with how your heart and your gut feeling, because 99.9% of the times is because you're right. You are right. And all I will say is to make sure and always leave room for disappointment, because things will happen. People will hurt you. And we just get hurt by the people that we love the most. So always leave room for disappointments and hurts, and yeah, you should be fine. And trust and believe, like I said, not Prince Charming, but somebody will come along the way and you will get all of that you're looking for.
So your advice is to trust your gut, because I believe trusting your gut is something really extraordinary, and some people may not be able to tap in deep enough to know what is that gut feeling. Like, you may be able to trust your gut, know what's your gut to trust myself, but other people, they don't know. You're not sure about the signs. You're looking for the signs, but it's like a seesaw. It's uneven.
Sometimes you just need to go and tell one another. Sometimes you just need to go and tell him.
All right, okay. Sounds good.